We're about 3 hours in to this book organizing project. Still lots of boxes to unpack over there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 more boxes to unpack. And my goal is in the next hour to get the books out of all of those boxes and onto these shelves. All of my years as an academic have prepared me for this organizing moment. I am going to be organizing books today, both by genre and alphabetically. And it's not just a small library. We're talking about an enormous book collection, and I can't wait to get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Julia Raz, professional organizer and owner of Golden West Organizing. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm taking you inside a very special home, a Greene and Greene house in Pasadena, California, where we spent 2 days organizing a gorgeous built-in bookcase. If you're unfamiliar, Greene and Greene homes are known for their rich woodwork, handcrafted details, and sense of harmony with their surroundings. So this project wasn't just about organizing books, it was about honoring the space and the collection. To add on to this, our client is a writer, so it was very important for her to be able to reference her books whenever she needed them and to make it really, really easy for her. I can't wait to take you through the process step by step of how we were able to get her entire 40-box collection organized. How do you feel about spiders? Are you bothered by them or no?
I mean, I don't freak out. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
You see 'em?
In fact, you know what makes me even more comfortable is just putting my gloves on because.
Oh, good idea. You know what? I'm gonna do that too. It's just better.
Yeah. Especially because sometimes, like, the boxes, like, I'll get, like, paper cuts or whatever from the cardboard if my hands get dry, so.
We started off by opening the boxes and beginning to sort the books by genre into really big categories. Hey, one box down.
Oh, yeah.
You know, gotta get started somewhere.
Box down.
How many boxes do you think we have? So she said between 25 and 40 was her estimate. I bet there's 30, 40.
Let's see, 4, 8, 10, 15, 20. I mean, there's 20 right here. Yeah, probably the same out there.
You know what? I need my glasses. So I recently in the last week, had to get reading glasses.
Oh, really?
Which are for my phone because I have to go like this now. So I now have these. I don't wear them all the time, but with my cell phone and with these books, I'm gonna need them. I didn't mess around. I'm not messing around today. See this? See this look? Yeah,
they're
but
cute.
They make it really uncomfortable if I look at anything else. Like I can't. They're not for all the time. But
it's
for
just
small, for up close things.
Yeah.
We really started off with broad categories, separating fiction from nonfiction, and then letting subcategories emerge as we went along. Where's my glasses? Every time I start going like that, that's when I realize I need this one. Equal parts terrifying and exhilarating. Ooh. Punk rock memoir. Oh, and I'm seeing that these are all together for a reason. These are more nonfiction, still with nonfiction music. Yeah, more of that. Look at this, hold on. We gotta show this one to the camera. This is the 1977 J.C. Penney catalog. An enormous, look how thick this thing is. This is so cool. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Check out that yellow pantsuit. That could be me. That could be me. Do you want to see it, Marissa?
Yes.
No, she'd set all magazines aside, right?
Yes.
We learned so much about our client as we subcategorized each of the genres, such as punk music, art, and travel. We even found the comic that inspired her to become a writer, which was so, so cool to check out.
Yeah.
The diamond lens. It's kind of like is there a comic section yet or no? We have magazines, but not
yet.
Okay.
But we'll see if that.
Yeah, see if that emerges. Exactly. Yes. If you have a project as big as this one, I do recommend having the help of someone else. It makes the experience so much more fun, and we certainly had a few laughs.
Okay, look how hot F. Scott Fitzgerald was.
If you're limited on space like we were, you may have to use the shelves themselves in order to help you with the sorting process. Ideally, you would have room in another part of your house, but this is what we had to do in this case. Okay, let's check out Phyllis Diller's housekeeping hints. Let's read a few. Dedicated to all the ladies who would rather skip the housework. Monday morning, send laundry out and get back to bed. Tuesday, throw return laundry under bed. Wednesday, stuff everything in drawers. Thursday, rake living room. Friday, shake out dust mop for neighbors to see. Saturday, call delicatessen. Sunday, forced family time. It felt like such an accomplishment when we were able to move from our first stack of about 20 books to our second stack of about 20 books. And each and every time we finished a box, you know, we broke it down because it just makes such a visual difference for us and helps us to stay motivated along the way. Let's take a look at awkward family photos. Some of these just look like regular. Oh, that's a great one. One thing about me is that I get really hyper-focused when I'm working on a project like this, and so the only thing running through my mind was that I wanted all 40 boxes of books unpacked by the end of our first day, no matter what. I do recommend, though, if you're working on a project like this, take breaks as needed, but just make sure that you have a plan in place of what you're hoping to accomplish that day and sticking to it, and make sure that it's realistic and reasonable for you, and that's going to look different for each and every one of you and your projects. We're about 3 hours in to this book organizing project. Still lots of boxes to unpack over there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 more boxes to unpack, and my goal is in the next hour to get the books out of all of those boxes and onto these shelves. And we have Marissa over there who is moving some of our books around so that all of the categories make sense. We've kind of moved all of the writing reference books, all of the self-help and psychology books, all of the business books to this side. And then over on this side, we have a whole lot of different types of categories. It's all coming together, but definitely taking a lot of time to do this. Book collections like this do take quite a while. Here's a glimpse at Marissa putting all of the books into their subcategories as I had brought them over. We're 4 hours in, almost 4 hours in. We're down to our last box. I have the goal of, by the end of 4 hours, getting every one of these book boxes unpacked. I think we're gonna do it. And Marissa is over here still sorting all of the books onto the shelves. We're still really kind of figuring out where everything goes, but it's coming together really, really nicely in a pretty short amount of time. Also, this is like the fastest 4 hours ever. I feel like this has passed by so fast.
Yeah, it's been fast.
So, check it out. 4 hours in, all of the book boxes are unpacked. The boxes that we have over here are things that are not books, which is not what we're responsible for. And over here are records, which we're also not doing, but 100% of the books and magazines have now been unpacked. And so now we have about 30 more minutes that we're going to be here. And our goal is just to get everything as staged as possible and separated. And I think we can do it. We're doing pretty darn well.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, when the longer you work with people, the less you have to say things, you know, not that we're not communicating the whole time, but I just feel like I just know, like, you can just do your own thing. I don't need to be there, and likewise.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So, knowing the time we have left, and the space limitations we have, I'm gonna finish getting this area on the right looking good, because there's some things that are not working there, and then I'll work on the bottom with you.
Okay, sounds good.
Here's a look at Marissa and I working together in getting all of the books organized by genre onto the shelves. We had the goal of getting this done by the end of the first day, and we wanted to really set ourselves up for success for the second day. And I just wanted to take a moment to say how grateful I am for the entire GWO team of organizers. I couldn't do these really massive projects without them, and it just makes the day so much fun. And it's great to be able to bounce ideas off of my colleagues, and it really helps us to come up with the best systems for our clients. We always have our clients in mind first and foremost with anything that we set up, because I always say, we don't live in your home, you do. We need to set this up in a way that's going to be beautiful, but more importantly, functional for how you live in your own space. End of day one, we're 4.5 hours in. Check out how beautiful it looks. We don't have it alphabetized yet, but all of the books are put away, and we labeled all of the shelves with Post-its just with the different categories, so that our client can take a look and make sure everything makes sense for her. Today is day 2 of this project. We are here to alphabetize the book collection. After I oriented Rachel to the project, as she wasn't with me on the first day, we talked about how we were going to get this entire collection alphabetized in 4 hours. Now, I often get asked what's the best way to organize books. Alphabetizing books by genre and then within that alphabetically makes the most sense for people who actually need to regularly reference their book collections. Yes, color coding is pretty, but with the exception of small children or people who have very, very small book collections, it really doesn't make practical sense. Do we want all of the books fronts to be uniform, you know, like one line? If that, I don't know if I'm making sense right now. Or we push them all the way to the back of the bookcase. So like this is pushed to the back, right? So you see that some of them extend further out than others.
Right.
Do we prefer that, the back on the bookshelf, where you see more of the wood in the front, or the look of all of the books like
and forward? I personally stylistically prefer the top version.
You like the top version?
Where they're all like kind of leveled at the front. Yeah, that's just my personal preference and how I personally organize at home.
Let's try it that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it's such a minor thing, but because we're, you know, thinking about the final organization,
yeah,
I do wonder what she would like. But let's do it this way, and then
we can always
after we do the whole thing, we can always push it back.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for your input.
Absolutely.
Yeah, ideally we do this so that they all kind of line up in the same position on the shelf to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
Some of the longer books are going to make that harder, but it doesn't. I don't have it all the way to the front because that would look like it's about to fall off. But I went pretty far forward. I went like to here.
Yeah, I think that looks better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what we'll do then. Okay, moving on. In order to alphabetize the books, Rachel pulled them off the shelves and put all of the A letters together, B letters, and so on and so forth. And then later on, she would get them in alphabetical order exactly. What I'm working on now is getting all of these different writing books organized. And we have style guides, we have dictionaries, we have thesaurus section, grammar section, and this is what I feel like, having been an academic for so many years, is really, really coming in handy, but it's also giving me a bit of flashbacks of my time in grad school. I had a slightly different approach to getting these alphabetized from Rachel. I noticed that there were subgenres within the genre we had created, which was writing. And so I thought that because our client is a writer, that she would like things even more specifically categorized. So I pulled everything off and got those into those different categories and then alphabetized within the category. And if you're working with a pretty small quantity of books, you may be able to even do this alphabetizing within the shelf itself. One recommendation that I have for you is to set really realistic expectations about what you want to accomplish on any given day. As I had mentioned in day one, we had this goal for getting every single book categorized by genre. Now, that may not be realistic for you in your life, so please don't be too hard on yourself if it's taking you more time. Our client had told us that she thinks it would have taken her 3 years to accomplish what we accomplished in only 2 days. So I'm not saying that you need to take that many years to accomplish this, but do be realistic with yourself and celebrate the wins as you are getting your collection organized, like what we're doing right here. If it looks like we're taking a lot of steps, it's because we are. This kind of work is very physically taxing on us, but we love it. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by your own book collection, I wanted to remind you that there are people out there like myself and my team and so many other professional organizers who do this type of work, and we love to help our clients. So don't be afraid to reach out for help. They're alphabetical, but they're not like in order yet.
Yeah.
So
that's
these are all the M's.
Yeah, that's M, and then it works its way down this way, and I can finish these guys.
But it's not alphabetical. But I see MN.
Yeah, yeah, it's MNOPQRS.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You already did that.
Well, yeah. I categorized the letter, but they just need to be in alphabetical order now.
Oh, so each of these stacks is not alphabetical. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
I understand, and you're on putting away M now. Right?
Actually, technically I'm on J, K, L, but M is right there if that helps us with spacing, if you want to work on the M.
No, yeah, I'll work on it.
Yeah. Or I could give you the L pile and you could work on that.
Whatever you want. If you want to give me one of the ones that you're about to do, that's fine. Another tip that I have when you're working on a large project like this is to make sure that you are communicating as much as possible with everyone who is working on it so that you make sure that you are on the same page of the goals, on the same page in terms of the systems that you are creating, and that will make the process so seamless. We are a little over 2 hours in at this point to the second day of the project. I finished alphabetizing this entire bookshelf, so that one is good to go. Over here, Rachel has finished the whole fiction section, and now we're working on these 2 columns, but it's not even the whole column that we have to do. So I think with a little less than 2 hours, we're going to be able to get this finished, and then we're going to pull all the books forward a little bit so they're all uniform in the front. Here's a look at us getting all of these final shelves done. As we were putting away the final shelves, we realized that there wasn't a lot of extra space for our client. And when we spoke with her, she did say that she does plan to add to her collection. But thankfully, she said that once a year, she does do a big declutter of her entire bookcase. And the way that we had set it up for her should make it really easy for her when she does want to do that massive declutter. Now that we're done with alphabetizing everything, I want to take you on a little tour of everything that we've categorized and how we put it away. Over on this side of the bookshelf, we see all of our fiction section, which is done alphabetically. Our client had asked us to leave all of the magazines and things like that at the very bottom as is. In the second column, let's take a look from the top. That's a continuation of our fiction section up there, and then it gets down to journals as well as the Bible, then into our section of goth and magic, then to our section of comics as well as children's literature. And then over in the farmost right column, this is when we get into our nonfiction section. So at the top, we have travel guides at the left, and then on the right, we have different language, learning materials. Below that is where we have our architecture and home and garden section that extends down to the next shelf, which then eventually becomes our photography section and art section. And then our bottommost shelf of books before it gets to the magazines, these are our biographies section. And then we have some of our large books that were coffee table size books that didn't fit well on the shelves at the bottom, and then over here in the center as well. Here is the other section of the bookcase, and this is the section that's closest to our client's desk. And since our client is a writer, it was important that we had certain types of books close to the desk. So at the top, up there in the top right corner, this is our how-to and guide section. It's subcategorized into a small category of cats as well as a section about women. Below that, this is where we have our business-related books. And then on the right side, these are general music-related books. In the center section, this is when we have our entire writing section. So I have general writing guides all at the top, and then this bottom shelf here, I divided it more specifically into dictionaries. We have a section for this thesaurus, which you'll have to tell me is the plural of thesaurus, thesauri, I think it might be, and then different style guides. Over here at the left, we have the top shelf, which is dedicated to punk music, and then we have an overflow of more punk materials down there and a self-help as well as psychology section. Our client has asked us to leave the post-it notes on until she gets used to the categorization system, but I will take some after video footage so that you can see what it would look like without the post-its there as well. If you've recently moved and you're sitting on a big pile of books, I hope that my video gave you some encouragement. Organizing a large collection like this one can feel overwhelming, but when you take it step by step, it's totally manageable. Remember to sort by big categories first and then into smaller subgenres. Then you'll want to alphabetize. And remember, it's totally okay if it takes time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you've got shelves full of books or boxes that still need unpacking, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're working on.